Terrific. Celebrate.
Hello, race fans. Welcome to Nola Motorsports Park, what plans to be an absolutely packed weekend of competition. The USF Pro Championships here to kick off the USF Juniors program, but of course, a full slate of all three series, USF Pro 2000 and USF 2000 here as well. A ton of live coverage all weekend long here on the YouTube channel. Weather is going to be absolutely perfect. Mid-70s all weekend. The sun, no rain in sight. Exactly what we wanted for this weekend here at Nola Motorsports Park. Again, USF Juniors getting set to go. A triple header for all three series. Those drivers in their cars right now. After we get back from this break, we'll have cars on track for qualifying one.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And to handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
The first official session of the 2025 season for the drivers here in the USF Juniors program. Again, my name is Rob Howden, the voice of the USF Pro Championships, presented by Continental Tire. First qualifying session of the year for these young drivers. 22 on the grid to begin this season of USF Juniors competition. Beautiful day here right now at Nola Motorsports Park. 77 degrees here trackside. Anytime you come to an event here at Nola, you never know what you're going to get in terms of weather, being, of course, so close to the water itself, the Gulf, and you just never know what you're going to get. You'll get a little bit of rain here and there, but, man, we all looked forward at the schedule and saw nothing but sun and temps in the 70s, and that's exactly what we have here right now, 77 degrees. They're saying maybe even a little bit cooler tomorrow, the high of 73. I love that, but then back to potential high 70, 79, currently forecast as the high for Sunday. Qualifying set to go to wrap the day up here. All three of the series, USF Juniors, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000, will take the track here this afternoon to lay down qualifying lap times, and this will set the grid for the first of the three races. All three categories running triple headers. And with this being a standalone event and not having to kind of shoehorn our schedule within that of the NTT IndyCar Series or Indy Next, we find ourselves with the opportunity to do two qualifying sessions. So we'll do qualifying for race number one here today, a separate qualifying session for all three series tomorrow morning. That that session will set the grid for race two and race three. Fastest lap for race number two, second fastest lap for race number three. And as always, if you're able to go quicker in that second race, then your lap time that you have set as your fastest time for race three, you're able to improve. So we'll have a look at the shots that we've got around this beautiful 13-turn road course. It's such a different challenge that the drivers will see throughout the year. Flat, a lot of high-speed corners, not as much visual recognition throughout the race. You don't have all those points, those turn-in points that you may get in terms of having trees, bushes, whatever it is around the racetrack. So they really have to look more at the actual track itself. Maybe some skid marks, some of the extra paving you see here. Drivers coming through the very quick turn number 5 there. 5, 6, and 7, the back part of the racetrack. The right-handers, very fast right-handers through 6, through 7. That brings you down to this 8-9 complex here, this right-left chicane. You got to get through there with a ton of speed. Roll that speed into 8 through 9, because then you come down to really one of the premier passing opportunities here at Nola, and that's coming down into turn number 10, the hard-braking right-hander that leads into the rhythm section. Right there following Oliver Weldon, the VRD driver, the winner last year of the Skip Barber Racing School Formula Car Series, took his $100,000 scholarship to VRD following In the footsteps already blazed by his brother Sebastian Weldon, will be racing F4 overseas here in 2025. As I said before, 22 drivers set to go, 7 sophomores coming back after either full or partial seasons in 2024. That means 14 rookies. And again, not surprising to see the rookie count in this program. It is the initial step, the entry series into the USF Pro Championships. Got a bunch of great cameras for you here. This visual shot here, this drone coming out of turn number 2. This is a great shot to get to see the racing line. Watch for Oliver staying to the inside there. I was saying, why are you not out to the outside of the racetrack? Looking for your open track, potentially finding one of his teammates behind him as well to get that tow. All the drivers having run the 2 45-minute test sessions yesterday. Majority of the field getting on track for the official practice session earlier today. And they'll all bolt on brand new sticker Continentals to go to work here in this qualifying session. Drivers just starting to get things underway. The opening lap kind of getting in the books. There's Weldon there in that Cambridge number 98. Driver up front right now in the opening lap, though, Rodrigo Gonzalez for D-Force Racing. Rodrigo and his brother Patricio in their second year in the series and have been impressive through off-season testing, Academy Winter Series, the spring training event we had here that we really only ran one day as the track got rained out on Sunday, but both those drivers have found themselves into the top 10. And throughout the weekend here, they've been very good as well. Opening practice session of yesterday, the first test session, saw, scroll back here, Leonardo Scorpioni, the Academy Winter Series champion, and again, 8th last year in the championship for Zanella Racing. He was the quickest driver, Scorpioni, in the 55. João Vergara for VRD Racing was second quick, about a tenth and a half back. Ty Fisher leading the way for the rookies. Only rookie in the top 6 as Fisher was third, the driver out of British Columbia, Canada for Zanella Racing. He and his teammate Diego Guillo, that was the first session. Diego was 4th, so Zanella putting 3 drivers in the top 4 in our first session. Vilo Atola, the Finnish driver, very impressive for D-Force Racing, coming out of the gate P5, and he was also second in test number 2. Second as well earlier today in practice. So again, we'll start to see what happens here as we get ready to lay things down. It's a half an hour window for qualifying, but if we go 20 minutes straight, that's what they'll get. You see the line of the drivers over top of that white and red runoff rumble area. We got a red flag, folks. You can see that the AMR IndyCar safety team already heading out on the racetrack. We are red right now. Quick scan of the racetrack to find out where that may be. You can see the drivers working out here now. So we're red flag already, only 2 laps into the session here. And a driver has gone off track. We had a number of issues throughout testing yesterday with drivers going off track, a couple of technical issues as well, drivers with mechanical failures coming to do a stop on the racetrack, those red flags coming out. But there you go, that qualifying session, as I said before, 30-minute window, but 20 minutes of green flag running. And right now, just 2 laps in, Leonardo Scorpioni is on top. Get an opportunity to make sure all the drivers have through. I think they've got the last couple of cars through. And there you go there, just come on the outside. Coming at, I believe, turn number 5 through 6 and 7. We have one of the, I believe, Inter-MS cars off the track. So Scorpioni on top right now, P1. Rodrigo Gonzalez in second. Hudson Potter third. Michael Succo in fourth. 5th is Matan Achatov. 6th, Liam Leocoina, the Aussie. Then it's the Canadian Ty Fisher. The number 4 of Switzerland's Karel Stout in 8th. Brendan Cooley 9th, and Diego Guillo rounding up the top 10. Hard to pick up which car that is here. And again, early in the season like this, a lot of drivers, I'm sure you saw on social media, a bunch of the teams unveiling their liveries for 2025. So some new car colors. We'll get that dialed in here throughout the weekend. I believe that's one of the Inter-MS cars. I'm trying to figure out who is in pit here. I think that's going to be Emma Scarborough in the number 26. The Georgia driver. Part of a group of 3 drivers we have this year that are female competitors. It's been the most we've ever had in any one of our series. 3 drivers here running in USF Juniors. Emma Scarborough, Kaylee Countryman, and Maddie Colleran. So essentially, Emma just getting beached on the outside. When I did the track walk on a track walk, we didn't have an official track walk yet, but I did a track walk because, of course, the drivers have been here many times through spring training. It's not that hard, I think, to go off. You miss a corner a little bit here, and you get out into the grass, and away you go. Again, they're likely to be able to get her fired back up. Indeed, she's probably going to pull away here momentarily. She might need a little bit of help getting rolling here. But the crew doing a good job getting her out of the gravel. A little over 13 and a half minutes remaining. Emma refiring. Back on track. It won't take long for the AMR crew to get themselves back in their positions to get things back underway here. There's the 26 of Emma Scarborough. 3 drivers at Inter-MS this year, Hudson Potter and Michael Succo, sophomore drivers, both those competitors racing the full season in 2024. Emma, the rookie at the Inter-MS crew. Emma was 15th of the 22 in the practice earlier today, but I believe was a little higher in the opening session. Yeah, she was 14th. So around 14th, 15th, 16th is where she's been here through testing. You can see the crew, the AMR crew, getting themselves back to their positions just past start-finish line on driver's left. Emma, top of the screen, heading herself back into pit lane as well. At that point, I think we'll be going back to green. And again, about 13 minutes and 43 seconds is what I see on live timing. Still left to go. And again, just 2 laps, or 3 laps rather, in a Scorpione, Gonzalez, Potter, Succo, Achatev, your fast 5. Loacono, Fisher, Stout, Cooley, and Guio, top 10. Oliver Weldon sits in 11th spot. Connor Aspley in 12th. Kaylee Countryman, 13th. She was actually 5th earlier today. Kaylee found a bunch of speed for practice this morning. And while we had, I want to say 17 or 18 of the 22. A couple drivers did not go out for the morning practice. And you can see the stickers still on those cars. Even though they got a couple laps in, they haven't burned the stickers off yet. She moved up to 5th. Her lap time would have put her P8. So Countryman finding some good pace here this morning. Currently sitting 13th, only getting the 3 laps in, so not enough time really even to get heat built into the tires. Atola, who we've seen up top, is again on a majority of the sessions, somewhere in the top 2 or 3. 14th. Scarborough, 15th. Patricio Gonzalez, 16th. João Vergara, 17th. JT Hoskins, Harry Moss, Thomas Nordquist, Lincoln Day, and Maddie Colleran. Rounding out the 22 drivers here right now. And again, that's just 3 laps in. Hopefully we'll get a good run here. They can get into a groove. Here's that shot over turn number 5. And essentially that's really where Emma Scarborough went off right there. Coming out of turn number 5. Tried to carry a bit of speed through there and went off. I believe in these juniors cars, it's flat out through turns 5, 6, and 7. Maybe a little lift, but I believe it's flat out through turn number 5, that right-hander that leads into the very quick 5, 6, 7 combination. So a little break in the action here after this session, and then we'll come back with back-to-back qualifying sessions for USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000 to cap off the day. Tomorrow morning, those sessions happening once again for USF Juniors. I believe 8:35 qualifying time for the juniors, 10:05 for USF 2000, and 10:45 for USF Pro 2000. Those will be, again, combined to one broadcast here on USF Pro TV. And all times I'm laying out here are Central Time, as we're an hour back here from the Eastern Time Zone in Louisiana. First time we've been able to get the live broadcast from here, this event here at Nola. this Continental Tire Grand Prix of Louisiana. So we'll say hello to those of you who are tuned in on the YouTube channel or maybe on the road. You got the USF Pro Championships mobile app fired up. Maybe you're rolling down the road and watching on your phone, your tablet, whatever it may be. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. These, of course, are the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. Looking forward to seeing our first juniors driver work his or her way up to IndyCar. Of course, USF 2000, a ton of drivers in this program, which started back in 2010, have made their all the way there. You go, for the first couple of drivers, that first season, 2010, Sage Karam and Zach Veach, of course, multi-time starters of the Indianapolis 500. But most recently, we look at drivers like Christian Rasmussen and Kyle Kirkwood. Colton Herta, of course, started as a 14-year-old driver in USF 2000. Sooner or later, we're going to see one of these juniors drivers make his or her way all the way up the ladder. We know we've done a good job with our program when we look at our USF Pro 2000 champions. 5 of the last 7 champions are now in IndyCar. Rinus VeeKay, Kyle Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, Christian Rasmussen, and Louis Foster. Then you've got Miles Rowe and Lockie Hughes ready to battle for a championship as well in Indy Next. Future looks very bright. Number of drivers slowing up a little bit here on that lap. I think either trying to open themselves up or trying to find someone behind them to be able to potentially draft with. This is one of the things we see in karting quite a bit, where they're super slow out on the racetrack and are trying to find a gap. One of the things we do in this program here is institute a minimal lap time. In other words, or a maximum lap time rather, where you can't be on track qualifying and go over a maximum lap time. So you can't just putt around. You've got to be on the throttle. If you don't hit that maximum lap time or go over it, meaning you've slowed too much on the track, waiting and try to position yourself, you're going to get a penalty, potentially losing your fastest lap. So the driver here is slowing up in a big way coming down here. By doing that, getting themselves a potential issue. I'll sit down with race control after this to make sure to try to find out what maybe the maximum lap is at this point. Scorpione is still on top. We're trying to put some lap times down here right now. Let's have a look. Where are we in terms of time? Just over 8.5 minutes remaining. There's Kaylee Countryman right there in that exclusive Autosport number 90. Right behind her is the fast driver right now, the 55 of Leonardo Scorpione. Kaylee do well to allow him to get by and potentially get a little bit of help there. She's currently sitting in the 17th spot. We'll see as they come down whether or not we get a move to the inside. Scorpione is not going to want to get caught behind a driver that he's significantly quicker than. He wasn't that much quicker in terms of outright pace, maybe 3 or 4 tenths of a second based on what Kaylee was able to do in practice this morning. There he is there. He's actually checked up. So to get out of that group, Leonardo Scorpione is checked up coming out. Now, granted, remember, coming across the line, not only he finished that lap, this lap's essentially ruined. This lap's a throwaway now because he's slowed up. So now he needs to make sure he gaps himself to the point where he's got the gap he wants. Following all 4 of the Jay Howard driver development cars now, the 4 of Carell Stout, the 5 of Harry Moss, Liam Loacono, and JT Hoskins. Loacono in the 6, Hoskins in the 9. An international field for sure for Jay Howard. Switzerland, England, Australia, and the United States for JT Hoskins. Right now, their fastest driver is Loacono in 8th, Stout 10th. Hoskins currently in the 19th spot, Moss 20th. Still a ways to go. Less than a second separating your top 14. Back to Michael Succo, the Inter-MS driver out of Birmingham, Alabama, and number 24. He currently sits 14th, 9/10ths back. Number of drivers turning their fastest lap on that last circuit. Vilo Atolo goes to 2nd. Brendan Cooley up to 9th. Matan Achatav 10th. Kaylee Countryman 16th. Nordquist 18th. Hoskins 19th. Expecting to see the fast times come late in the run here. Couple of groups, as you can see, lining up. There's all 4 of the Jay Howard cars. Big climb up the curb there. Scorpione on top with a 139.214, over a tenth and a half quicker than Atola, the D-Force driver. Rodrigo Gonzalez makes it 2 D-Force cars in second and third. Ty Fisher, the rookie, up into 4 spots. So the rookies currently run second for Atola, fourth for Fisher, Weldon 5th, Leacona 8th, Cooley 9th, and Achetiv 10th. So it's Scorpione, your leading sophomore driver, up front. Gonzalez 3rd, Vergara 6th, Patricio Gonzalez 7th. Remember, the 55 of a Scorpione, his fast lap coming on lap number 2. He had to check up because he was right behind Kaylee Countryman. Kaylee currently about a second off of where she was in practice this morning. Let me get that lap time for you. She did not quite that. She did a 139.8. Her fast lap here, 140.5, so about 7/10. She's going to find that pace she had when she went P5 in practice this morning. Qualifying's a different thing, though. You hope to get a potential draft, get that toe that you need, but you're also trying to maximize the tires, get them right to that operating sweet spot. Ideally, they've set the tire pressures right. You've got yourself positioned where you have open racetrack. You're not held up by anybody else in front of you. You don't get that dirty air through some of the faster parts of the racetrack, 5, 6, and 7, getting that dirty air that gives you, that entry push, that oversteer, or rather the understeer coming through those corners where you got to put a little more wheel in it or even get out of the throttle a little bit. Loyacono now up into 6th position, 139.642 for Liam. The Australian Formula Ford driver, multiple wins across 3 different Formula Ford series in 2024 for Liam. Great to have him with us here this year. Looking at a bright future for that young Aussie. JT Hoskins goes quicker as well. He goes to 15th, 140.281. Still 4 minutes remaining. Lots of time. Let's see some drivers moving up. Oliver Weldon moves up to P3. 139.383 for Weldon. It's now Scorpione, Atola, Weldon, Gonzalez, Fisher. That's your top 5. Qualifying here for race 1 in USF Juniors. I'm looking for this year's drivers to do exactly what we saw last year in the opening round. The USF Juniors drivers in 2024, their first race of the triple header weekend here at Nola, green to checker. Very impressive. USF 2000 did the same thing. They followed them up and went green to checker. It was the pro drivers that brought out 3 red flags. Very similar to what we saw at St. Petersburg. The USF 2000 drivers in their opening run on those very tough streets of St. Petersburg, Florida, going green to checker. Pro, again, mistakes galore. Lots of drivers in the wall there. Saw one driver already into the pits. That might have been Harry Moss into pit lane in the Jay Howard car. 3 minutes remaining. Likely this lap and another one. Again, waiting to see if drivers pop up. There's Kaylee Countryman. She went off 140.4. She found a 10th. But not near where she did in practice. Here's the number 6 of Liam Loacona. Impressive here. Coming out of the gate, currently 6th spot. Again, all these drivers would love to have had more track time here at spring training back in February. A number of teams did come to test before the event. Still a Scorpione on top, up top. Lap number 2 is best. He's got 9 in. Everybody on track except for Harry Moss. All but one driver. And actually Moss into the pits and back out. Comes out in front of a 2-driver battle, or 2-driver grouping, I guess, draft grouping that has Weldon in there. 1:42 to go. Shout out to Maddie Colleran. Her best lap so far. She's found over a second of what she did during testing and practice. Maddie, young driver number 29 for Zanella Racing out of Hunting Valley, Ohio, in the Dealer Tire Merrill Lynch Foundation's health machine. Very new to the sport, only a couple of years of racing, did some karting and did a bunch of testing. And she's found some speed, which is great. 142.242. She'll be happy with that. Putting the stickers on, those fresh Contis, and bam, getting some good lap times. Let's follow a couple of the Inter-MS cars. In fact, that's all three of them together. Hudson Potter, Michael Succo, and then Emma Scarborough. They're currently 12th, 13th, and 14th. Potter 12th, Scarborough 13th, Succo 14th. 30 seconds remaining in the session, so a number of drivers here are going to get one more. Remember, as you circulate, these tires keep the consistency throughout a run. You just get lighter and lighter as you're burning that fuel off. This is where you got to lay the big lap down. Oliver Weldon just did it. He goes to P2. Weldon to second with a 139.335. Still over a tenth off that of Leonardo Scorpioni. He's already in the pit lane. Gonzalez Fisher into pit lane. Connor Aspley from pole position, Motorsports, 18th. He's in pit lane. Checkered flag. This will end the session. So here we go. This is the last lap to get something done. Diego Guillo gets another lap. He'll go to 16th, 140.390 for Guillo. It's still the top 14 within a second. Michael Succo, 9/10 back, almost a full second back from a Scorpioni. The Inter-MS drivers all lining up here. Again, as I said before, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Believe we'll use the timing stripe in the back part of the racetrack coming into turn number 10. Yeah, there you see it there. The alternate timing line coming into turn number 10. You see the checker flag there. That way they'll be able to go into pit lane and not get all the way around. And I think we have, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's still a lot of cars. As I look to my left and watch them here, I'm right at start finish in our TV booth. Joao Vergara finds some more speed. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a new driver on top. Oliver Weldon has gone P1 with a 139.063. Big lap out of Weldon. Joao Vergara goes up into fourth. Loyacono goes up into fourth, moving Vergara down into fifth. Weldon on top, 139.063. Scorpioni, Atola, Loyacono, Vergara. We're not done yet, though. Who else is coming? One more car, I believe, to come across the line. I think that's the last one right there. One of the D-Force cars. You see one of the Jay Howard cars off the track there coming through 10 and 11. Well, what a wild session there. Leonardo Scorpioni set the fast time on lap number 2, was never able to go any quicker. And that 139.214 looked like it was going to stand. Weldon was P2 coming into that final lap, off by just over a tenth, but laid one down on the final circuit, found a couple of tenths of a second, a 139.063 for Oliver Weldon. And he will take the pole position here. Leonardo Scorpioni being the outside of the front row for race number 1. Vilo Atola and Liam Loyacono on row number 2. Joao Vergara and Rodrigo Gonzalez, row 3. Ty Fisher, 7th, alongside Patricio Gonzalez. That will be row 4. Brendan Cooley in 9th spot. Matan Achitov rounding out the top 10. So let's say VRD and Zanella on row 1. D-Force and Jay Howard driver development on row 2. So 4 different teams in the top 4. You got to go back to Joao Vergara to make it 2 VRD cars. Then we got D-Force, Zanella, D-Force exclusive VRD. So indeed, what do we end up with? Top 14 drivers within a second, almost the entire field within 2 seconds, and Maddie Colleran, who is 22nd, found over a full second. 1.1 from practice this morning. Excellent run for Maddie Colleran. She ends up 3 seconds back and finds a bunch of pace here from testing. So good for her to find that pace. And I guarantee she's going to keep finding more and more speed throughout the weekend. But shout out to Oliver Weldon. Ladies and gentlemen, our first pole sitter of the 2025 season for USF Juniors. Count 1 point. He's your point leader heading into the race. And again, Leonardo Scorpione, who won the Academy Winter Series and finished 8th overall last year in the series, will be alongside him on the front row when we go racing. The first of course, 3 races on the weekend. Looking forward to seeing how that plays out tomorrow afternoon. Second qualifying session, of course, tomorrow morning. Then we'll do our first run through round number 1 races tomorrow afternoon. Once again, as I said, folks, we're going to shut this broadcast down here. We're going to come back again. It'll be back-to-back. We'll do a full broadcast for qualifying 1 for USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. But that's it here from Nola Motorsports Park. For now, we'll be back soon with the next qualifying run. But again, great way to start off the season for the drivers here in this USF Juniors category. 22 impressive young drivers set to run after the scholarship and the championship to move up to USF 2000 next year. Don't go anywhere, folks. Again, we'll be back here soon. On behalf of everyone from Anderson Promotions and the USF Pro Championships, my name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.
Celebrate!